Hi YouTube, my name is Eric. If you haven't clicked the like and subscribe button yet, click the like and subscribe button right down there. My name is Eric, and I have a channel that's based around addiction, mental health, mental illness, depression, anxiety, suicide awareness, and making it through everyday life. Why? Because I'm an addict. I lost a wife and a father to suicide. I deal with PTSD, ADHD, depression, anxiety on a daily basis, and no journey's worth going alone. So click the like and subscribe button, and let's do this together. Hi YouTube, my name is Eric. I'm going to share with you what it's like and how to help parents not believing that you have depression or that you are depressed, or friends or family members believing that you are depressed. Let me share a lot of my experience even personally with you. You know, we get sad at certain points in our life, and it might be triggered by different things, and we start to lose joy in a lot of the things that we used to maybe find joy in. We might stop having joy in some of the hobbies that we did, if it's drawing or writing or music, whatever it might be, if it's working out. We start to lose these little bit of joys, and we are sad, and it's okay, and we'll acknowledge even that we are sad. We know it in our brain, but sometimes that starts to progress into something even worse. And that starts to progress into depression. If you're questioning if maybe you have depression or not, you're always exhausted, you're worn out, you feel beat down, you're mentally drained. You come home and you don't find joy in anything. You have trouble getting up in the morning, you have trouble making it to the shower, you have trouble getting out the door, you have trouble doing your dishes, you have trouble doing your laundry, you have trouble doing any kind of schoolwork or homework or after school activities, whether it's sports or whether it's drama, whatever it might be. You start to have just a burden on you of trying to get these activities done, and it becomes a chore, and it's no longer a joy, and it starts to weigh on us. We start to get depressed. Now what happens is we try to reach out, especially if you're young and you're a teenager and you're in high school, you try to reach out to your parents. And what are you hit with? If you reach out to your parents, sometimes you're hit with, you know what, in my day, nobody was depressed. Or, you know what, you're just being ungrateful, you need to look at the joys in life that you have. Or even better yet, my favorite one, it's all in your head. Really, you're right, it is all in my head. My head's fucked up right now and I need help. That's initial parents' responses to you. Even as an adult, that's your parents' initial response, because they don't want to think anything's wrong with their children. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a psychiatrist. I've just been through a lot of shit. When you're reaching out, we do try to reach out to our parents, and a lot of times we get brushed off with these answers. It's not necessarily what we're looking for, and we're not looking for a pity party, because let's face it, we'll start to reach out to other family members or reach out to friends. And what do we get hit with? You get hit with, you don't want to start reaching out to them because they don't want to be around you because you're always negative. Just say, hey, you're doing this for attention. That's a good one. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people out there have heard that you're doing this just for attention. We're not doing it for attention, and a lot of times people don't understand when you're depressed, you don't want attention. That's the last thing that we want, is any kind of attention. And now all of a sudden, because we're told all of this, it makes us feel even worse inside. It makes us feel bad inside. We come home and you might cry at night. You might just sit in darkness and just get trapped in your brain thinking that you're not good enough and that something is wrong with you, but you don't know what. And it's very difficult. We get stuck in our room and we don't want to leave the bed because we want to cry ourselves asleep. We don't want to tell anybody because we don't want to be a burden to them. Now all of a sudden, it does progress into a depression. It does progress into a depressive state. Go online, go onto social media, and everybody's gonna tell you the same thing. Whether you're on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, they're gonna tell you, go see a professional, go see a therapist, go see a psychiatrist, go see a psychologist. A lot of times when you're gonna bring this up to your parents, they're gonna hit you with resistance. If you bring this up to your friends, they're gonna hit you with resistance. They don't wanna think anything's wrong with you. It's very difficult, but it's something that's worth that fight of pushing through. Push through with them. Eventually, I guarantee you, especially if it's with parents, they're going to concede. They're going to say, all right, let's go see a doctor. Now, this is what can happen. You go see that doctor and you don't mesh. Especially if you're a kid. Man, my heart goes out to you if you're 18, 19, even younger than that, 14, 13. Because I was that age, and I went and saw doctors that looked at me and just said, you know what, you're just suffering from stress from school because your grades aren't that well. They would run these little tests, and then they would just tell me how it was school, or they would find something that they would say is the source of it. And I just felt that they didn't understand. They weren't listening to me. I wasn't connecting with them. Even as an adult, I've been to psychiatrists and psychologists that I didn't connect with. I've had psychologists and psychiatrists try to change up my medication and not listen to me as a human being. A lot of times as an adult, we can't give up. We got to go the trial and error route. We got to find that right doctor. We got to find that right psychiatrist. As a kid, it's even worse because let's face it, our parents have already told us it's in our head. We just need to cheer up. You're doing this for attention. We've heard all this stuff. Now parents are going to see from the psychiatrist or psychologist possibly or therapist that, oh, you're just stressed out from school. It's not that I'm stressed out from school. I don't want to even be there. I have no interest in it. I have no interest in work. I have no interest in doing anything. You don't understand. And as much as we try and get that message across, they don't hear it. Now all of a sudden, let's say, especially if you're a kid, you're usually going to get a couple days off of school. Your parents are going to let you have that because they're going to know that you feel bad. So they're going to give you a couple days off of school. They're going to try and take you to Disneyland. They're going to try and do stuff to cheer you up, and you're not going to want to be cheered up. You might just want to watch TV and cry. You might want to just go into your room and play video games and just disappear from the world. As an adult, we might just shut ourselves down and all of a sudden not answer any phone calls or talk to anybody because we were just told essentially that, hey, there's nothing wrong with you, just cheer the fuck up. And it doesn't happen that way. A lot of times what will end up happening is, as an adult or as a kid, we'll have a mental breakdown with our parents and we're going to say a lot of things that will come out during this, and it's a difficult period. You're going to bring up things like you feel like you're a failure and you're failing at school and you're a letdown to the family and you're a disappointment. An adult in your marriage, you're going to tell your wife that you're a failure to the marriage, you're a horrible husband or you're a horrible wife and the world is just collapsing around you and you don't know what to do. You're going to lose it. You're going to have this emotional break. And it happens. But remember this, that it's okay because with every break, you're so close to a breakthrough. Because what happens when you have that emotional break, especially as a kid, and I had that with my parents, they all of a sudden stop, the brakes are on, something is not right. My wife even now, if I tell her that something's going wrong, brakes are stopped, something's not right, what's going on, honey? You're gonna have that breakdown. And even if you don't have that breakdown or you're so afraid of that breakdown, write a letter. Write a letter to them of explaining to them what's going on. It's a great way to start the communication because it's the hardest thing to do because it's not all in our head. It's not just bad thoughts that we got to cheer up. We got to go outside and play. We got to go outside and take a walk. Some meditation and yoga is going to cure this shit for us. Taking a jog around the park or getting on our bicycles going to just cure this for us. It doesn't work that way because we don't give a shit about work. We don't give a shit about our grades. We don't give a shit about school or anything that we're doing because we don't want to do anything because we feel that bad. It's inside our heads and unfortunately you can't see it. It's not like a broken bone that you look and go, wow, they're hurt. They broke their bone. Let's get it fixed. When you have that breakdown, that breakthrough, that's when you can do a lot of healing. And that's when, your parents might take this serious. And this is where it just comes down to trial and error, going to as many different doctors as you can to find the right ones that mesh with you. Find that doctor that you have that connection with, that you feel listens to you. When I would go to psychiatrists or psychologists, if they were looking at the ground and they weren't making eye contact with me, I knew I wasn't having that connection. If I was going to a psychiatrist and psychologist, I'm not getting any kind of response out of them, and I'm getting what I always like to call auto responses. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, I understand. You're not engaging with me. I'm the personality that needed to be engaged. I need to find a doctor that would engage with me. And it's trial and error in finding that doctor. And then all of a sudden, what ends up happening? Beautiful things start happening. You might be prescribed medicine. You might be diagnosed with depression. And there's different types of depression out there. You might be put on medication for depression, and that's okay. You know what? It will help a little bit. And it's a long journey. It's a long journey. And I wish there was that get right quick pill, and sometimes that's where we give up hope because we're not finding that get right quick pill. It's a long journey, but you know what? It does get better. And even if they get you on medication, you're going to notice that there is a little bit of a difference because there's a chemical imbalance in our brain. You're going to start to feel a little bit better, and it's a building blocks, and then starting to find those goals and starting to rekindle those hobbies that you enjoy. It's starting to be involved in different communities and realizing that it's okay to have depression, but that it's something that you can fight through. Some of us, it works if we set goals and we start achieving those goals and our mindset starts to shift. It's reading possibly books and doing research and finding out what our passion in life is. That's the breakthroughs that we begin to have. But it's getting that initial help and that initial start. It's not feeding in and listening to everybody who's telling you it's all in your head. You're doing this just for attention. Unfortunately, family members and friends are usually the quickest ones to rebuttal that. And that's where reaching out like on social media or on different platforms where you can almost hide behind a picture in a sense helps because you will find other individuals like you that will give you tools and resources. And it's about never giving up. You can't give up when it comes to this. It is so worth it. You're worth it. You have to remember that. But you have to also remember when a family member or parent's going to tell you it's all in your head. You know what? Kids are soft these days. You know what? You're just being a wuss. You know what? Buck up. That shit doesn't work. If there is something wrong, we know there's something wrong, and we're just trying to express it and communicate it. If you're watching this, you probably feel depression or have felt depression, or maybe you're even a parent who's trying to understand your kid's depression, or a spouse. You got to remember that we lose joy of everything in life. That it's not just sadness. It's not us just moping and gloping around. It's not like being Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. And oh, Eeyore. No! It's our brain fucking with us. Go out, get the help, get the support that you need, and believe me, it's there for you. Comment down below if you've had experiences like this. I'd love to know. I'd love to give you support. I'd love to give you tools and resources, because that's what it's about, people helping people, and we can get through this together. It's hard and difficult when it comes to family members and friends. That's why I preach so much of sometimes it's easier to talk to a stranger because we don't feel that we're burdening them with their problems. We don't feel like we're just dumping our issues on them. We're not going to just necessarily push this person away and it's all in your head. You're just being sad. You're being drama queen. You're being drama king, whatever it might be. A stranger's gonna listen to you a lot more, and sometimes that's where the social media part comes in. I just cannot urge you enough, though. Don't fucking give up. You can make it out that door. You're worth it to get out there. You're worth it to keep fighting. You're worth it. Because you're so worth it. Such a passion of mine, because I lost my father to suicide, and he was a doctor. He was intelligent. And you're gonna tell me that, oh, just buck up. No, this is an intelligent human being. It's in our head, and we have to fight through it, and together we can, and together we can make a difference. If you haven't hit the like and subscribe button, please do. Comment below and let me know your experiences. Because I know there's so many of us out there that have had so many problems talking to our parents and talking to our friends and talking to our family about this, that we need to break that down, and we need to be able to find those tools and resources, whether it's writing a letter, whether it's having that breakdown with them and crying and telling them how we feel as a failure and a letdown and how we're a disappointment, and just letting all these hurtful words out and them realizing there is something wrong. That's what it comes down to. And together, though, we can do this. Together, we can find those right tools and share those right resources to help anyone suffering silently, to help anyone who's waging a war in their head. It's people helping people and making a difference. I hope you got a lot out of this. Click the like and subscribe button. Click the little bell. Let's do this together, and let's make a difference together. Thanks so much for watching this. I'm Eric. Till next time.